child is an important source of joy to families. Children have the potential to grow into adults who could make meaningful contributions to the human society. For this reason, education forms a basic foundation for shaping the future of children. Some children have, however, been noted to imbibe knowledge and skills taught to them at much slower pace compared to other children of the same age bracket. Individuals who fall into this category are known as persons with special needs. Although there are various forms of special needs in children and adults, one of the most common is autism. What is autism?
Autism is a developmental challenge characterized by an abnormality of communication, socialization, and also repetitive or stereotype behaviors.
This special need, you cannot really, even some experts have a tough time pinpointing what the causes are. Some also have not very comfortable giving some specific definitions to those problems. But for us, we notice that our child, our daughter, is a girl, is hyperactive to a level that you can say is even beyond excessive. Well, sometimes they call it ADHD, that's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Experts do not want to use those terms.
They usually have issues of communicating, both formal and informal way of communicating. They are also limited in socialization, and typically an autistic child will look the other way as you are entering the environment where he is.
Because one of the problems with a child with such excessive level of activity is that child is unable to learn speech. Some cognitive activities are lacking in the child. It will be even difficult for the child to do certain very common little things that any person can do, maybe from the age of 3, 4, 5.
Now that we know what autism is about, how then can children with such a condition be educated? Because every child deserves a world-class education, despite their unique abilities. All over the world, special education training for children with autism spectrum disorders or related special needs are being carried out. But is this true in Africa, especially in Nigeria?
I have a special needs child in my class. Well, before now, I would say, a novice when it comes to handling special needs children. But my school engaged the services of the Cadet Academy to train us on how to go about with special needs children.
Prior to meeting C.A.D.E.T Academy, we were not prepared. We did not know how to go about it, but we have a student who had been with us for a few years. He left and came back when C.A.D.E.T Academy was here, and he's a classic example. He wasn't speaking, he wasn't saying one single word. Within about 6 months, 8 months of working, the first time, he came into school and he says to me, he says, hello, and he came and hugged me. He was someone that had no emotions totally. He hugged me, and then we all virtually broke down and we cried. We didn't believe he would ever talk.
My husband went online because we had a challenge with our little child who has speech impediment. So he got to know about C.A.D.E.T Academy through the social media, and we wrote to Mrs. Lola. She replied us and told us about the program she's running. We invited her over, then she told us that with time my daughter will improve.
Lola Aneke, a special education consultant and the executive director at the Comprehensive Autism and Related Disabilities Education and Training, C.A.D.E.T Academy, located in Abuja, Nigeria, shares her vision.
Our vision at C.A.D.E.T Academy is to provide quality education and support all children, particularly children with special needs and their family. We also provide support for their caregivers at par with international best practices. Our mission at C.A.D.E.T Academy is to ensure that no child is left behind in terms of education, despite their disabilities. At C.A.D.E.T Academy, we offer different programs, and one of the key programs we offer are trainings for individuals who are willing to work with children with special needs. We also train parents on how to work with these children, and then we work with the children themselves. We work particularly with the kids from the age of 2 to 6.
Since its existence in 2013, C.A.D.E.T Academy has adopted a variety of research-based and evidence-based special education procedures for educating and implementing inclusive teaching practices. These range from accommodating the students in a general education classroom to carrying out intensive one-on-one sessions, as well as organizing special programs to further prepare parents, teachers, and caregivers in the area of educating children with special needs.
I'd like to express my enthusiastic support of Lola's work with children with disabilities, their families, and their teachers. She graduated from our program prepared to teach students with disabilities, kindergarten through 12th grade. Our program prepares educators to teach many disabilities, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, speech language impairments, behavior disorders, autism spectrum disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and other health impairments, sensory impairments with vision and with hearing, developmental delays, and traumatic brain injury. And Lola was an excellent graduate student and excelled in all these areas.
C.A.D.E.T Academy is licensed by the International Board for Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards, IBCCES, in the United States to provide continuing education to persons who want to certify as autism specialists.
Part of the experience also working with the C.A.D.E.T Academy, they have been involved in training our teachers too. So the teachers are also trained very regularly, very detailed, deep, very good trainings, packages put together by them.
I'm most privileged to have been trained by this academy because yes, I studied special education, but coming here to train, it was like I was meeting with these challenges one-on-one, unlike in school where it had to be something theoretical, not practical. But here you see this kid, you see what they are going through, and then you work with them one-on-one, not just the things you're reading in books. How are you? Good job. So now we're going to learn our letters, okay? Look at this. A, B, C. Good, and if you do well, you're going to get a star. Okay? Good, if you do well, you get a star.
For the exceptional learners, the C.A.D.E.T Academy adopts an inclusive approach under a loving atmosphere and applies evidence-based and research-based educational procedures to exchange undesirable habits and behavior with acceptable and desirable ones.
One major challenge for these children is behavior. They have serious behavior issues, and for any teacher that is able to tackle behavior issue, not even just special children, even typical children, if we can curb their behavior, then they will go far with learning. So I use the ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis, to teach my children behavior management.
I was taught by the C.A.D.E.T Academy staff that First of all, the first thing they told me was, okay, when they start the tantrum thing, just wait, they go, or when they get to the peak, it drops. That I never knew. Because usually, once it started, they're doing, you just, okay. So when they told me that, I'm like, okay, when I got home, when he started, I was just watching, okay, and my husband was like, and don't worry, see, when he gets to the peak, he's going to drop. And I kept waiting for him to get to that peak, and it took a while. But when he got to the peak, I noticed it, he just dropped. And then I was taught how to be firm. No matter how it hurts, if he's crying and you know what he's crying for, it's actually not good for him. Just be firm. And after when he got the message that this crying is not getting it for me anymore, so this is what mommy wants me to do. If I cry from now till tomorrow, she's not going to get it done. So why don't I just do what she wants and get it over with?
In addition, using applied behavior analysis (ABA) approach and discrete trial teaching (DTT), pre-academic skills, play, receptive and expressive language skills, self-help skills, and social skills are also employed in transforming the children and preparing them to reach their full potentials.
If you are not trained on how to go about with children with special needs, it will be very difficult for you to get through to them. So because of the training, I've been able to work very well with the child in my class. And apart from that, there's a special need teacher attached to my class who is also from the C.A.D.E.T Academy.
First, I help them generalize all that they've learned during the one-on-one session. And then 2, I help them to get along in class. They are included with other children that don't have challenges just like them. So they don't move at the same pace. So I help them to get along. I help them to learn better.
There's a saying that if a child cannot learn the way you're teaching, you should teach the child the way he can learn. The point is, every child should learn at all costs. And there's a saying that 55% of our body are non-verbal. And if you're non-verbal, and you can communicate with people and people understand you, that's part of communication. So those children have their own ways of communicating. It's now left for the society now to understand them and accept this communication. Put second table, put your hand down, good. Triangle, look at me, triangle, very good. Put your hand down, give me triangle.
Like the saying goes, education is a journey, not a race. Delving into the impact of C.A.D.E.T Academy's special education interventions with these children, let's hear from their parents if truly they observe any progress in their child's journey to becoming enlightened and educated citizens like everyone else.
Since we registered our daughter with C.A.D.E.T Academy, we have noticed that she's able to do certain things on herself. These days also, when she goes to the convenience, you see her try to pick her toothbrush and try to brush her mouth. But we always have a tough time brushing her mouth. But she tries to do that on herself, which means that she's beginning to recognize the fact that one has to brush his or her mouth.
It can be very frustrating when you're trying to communicate to your child that has speech impediment and she's not really responding well. So I was actually surprised one time. I asked my daughter, "What's your name?" and she said, "I'm fine." So I noticed that the C.A.D.E.T Academy, they're doing a great job in terms of improving her speech.
He likes to dress up by himself. So what he wants to wear, you can't tell him what else to wear. And then she said, if it's okay with you, allow it. But the moment you don't want him to wear those things anymore, tell him, no, you can't wear it. The first 2 days I did it, all hell broke loose. But I was just firm. He would cry for like an hour, and I was just firm. And then after 2 days, the 3rd day, he stopped. Once I just said, no, you can't wear that. You can't wear daddy's shirt. He just stops. Before, I would have been frustrated. You deal with this particular matter for so long. There were things that took me months to deal with. And then I'll be like, why don't you tell Mrs. Lola about this? And then when I mention it to her, she tells me what to do. I just go back home and I apply it. It just takes 1, 2, 3 days, and then automatically he adjusts. So it's been, C.A.D.E.T Academy has been very helpful with him and to me as well as the parents. They've taken a lot of burden from me.
Education costs money, but then so does ignorance. How financially convenient has the special education program been for the parents?
It takes a lot for people to train to be able to handle these children in the first place, it also takes a lot for parents to be able to put their children in these training facilities to be able to make them useful to themselves. It takes a lot. Even for parents who are middle class parents, I want to take an example of myself and my wife. It cuts down a lot on our budget to take care of our daughter.
Owing to the increase in recorded numbers of autism cases in Nigeria, and considering the obvious truth that children with this condition can actually learn and socialize like every other children, what then is the government doing to create awareness, and what financial support or policy has been put in place to assist the less privileged in this area?
Well, until of recent, I can tell you authoritatively, there hasn't been much done by the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria. I stand to be corrected, because the few you hear over the media and all that are usually done by the NGOs. But having said that, of recent, the Ministry of Health has approached National Hospital and want to establish a screening center for autism at the National Hospital, and the process is ongoing.
Let me be kind enough to say very little awareness. But the awareness stems only due to the fact that some people carry out research, personal research, which is what we did. The government should do much more.
One, the awareness should be there. The society should create awareness about this program. And secondly, since the program is a little bit expensive, I think the society should put up an insurance policy for those that can afford it, especially in the rural area where they cannot afford to pay for the speech therapy, which is a little bit expensive.
How then can we contribute our quota to what the government is doing? Who will pioneer a new era of change for our children with unique needs? Once more, Lola Aneke shares her vision.
I have one challenge that it's heartbreaking for me. When you have children that they come after the second or the third month, you have the parents saying to me, "Oh Lola, we love what you're doing. Our children are making progress, but unfortunately we can't continue." And I say to them, "What is the issue?" And they say, "Oh Lola, it is the finances. We can't sustain paying this amount of money every month." So we thought of having an NGO arm of what we're doing at C.A.D.E.T Academy. And the reason for this is so that we can have individuals or bodies that can sponsor children who need our services but they cannot afford it, particularly the low-income families, so that we can have like a form of scholarship for these children who need these services. Another thing we hope to achieve with the NGO is to have like a community center whereby, apart from the fact that we're training these children to be able to succeed academically, we can also be able to have vocational trainings for children who seem not to be able to do well after secondary school. They can actually have vocational training either in cooking, in sewing, in carpentry, or whatever they seem to have flair for, because children with autism or children with special needs they usually have strength in one area or the other. So we look at their strength and be able to direct them towards what they can succeed in.
When Lola told me about her plans to expand C.A.D.E.T Academy into having a non-profit venture that would support learners with autism and other disabilities, I have to say that I was not incredibly surprised. Two things that always struck me about her ever since we were kids is that she has an incredible drive. I remember this used to really inspire me back then, and even more than that was her deep sense of compassion for other people. Lola has such a big heart, and so when she told me that she was coming to the States to get her master's degree in special education, I thought, oh my goodness, that's exactly what we would need at home in Nigeria.
So basically the whole idea of the Dewdrop Community Center, which is the NGO aspect of C.A.D.E.T Academy, is to be able to get individuals to sponsor these children with their academics, to be able to train these children in vocational skills, and also to be able to empower their parents with trainings so that they can be financially independent.
For a lot of parents with challenged kids are thinking of going abroad, or they think that the only solution to this matter, I don't want to use the word problem, is to go abroad. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in going abroad. What I'm saying is, this abroad we're going to, what we're going abroad for is right here. Because I've seen changes. That's for me. I'm speaking from my own point of view. I've seen changes. So what I think is, if any way we can support this cause, any way we can support this NGO, apart from just helping your own child, if there's a way we can all just come together and support another child, even if your child is not a challenged child, you know, you're investing in somebody's future.
She consistently proved her intelligence, her advocacy for students, and her deep, deep passion for giving her students her very best. We're so proud of Lola. Her accomplishments have shown that she's exceeded and gone past how she was performing in her graduate work and what she's doing at C.A.D.E.T Academy. She will no doubt continue to make a difference in the lives of children with disabilities, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be a part of the career development of such a remarkable and strong young woman.
The Dewdrops Community Center is without question a welcome project to secure a better future for children with special needs, including vulnerable women, and also a giant step towards creating a model for multidisciplinary approach to special education in line with global best practices. The center is designed to be a state-of-the-art special education needs intervention center. At this center, our trained and certified specialists, together with other professionals, using a multidisciplinary approach, would conduct, among other procedures, early intervention programs for preschool and school-aged children with autism and related developmental disabilities as an important element of current special education international best practices recommended by international bodies which we hold membership of, such as the Council for Exceptional Children, CEC, the Division of International Special Education and Services, DISES, the Division for Learning Disabilities, DLD, the Division on Autism and Developmental Disabilities, DADD, the American Speech Language Hearing Association, and the United Nations International Children's Fund, UNICEF. Through the Dewdrops Community Center, the C.A.D.E.T Academy will be bringing hope to an otherwise underserved group of the Nigerian society in terms of education, thus supporting the federal government's goal of improving the education sector. We therefore appeal to everyone out there, individuals and corporate organizations, to put their passion in display for our beloved children, our great country, and humanity at large. Let's join the C.A.D.E.T Academy in making history. Support this positive change in our society today